Howdy folks, Grebner here with Grebner Outdoors, and this is the conclusion of my Magnus Stinger and buzzcut series. Now, in the last part I talked about how I didn't like four-blade broadheads. That's not necessarily true. This is a two-blade buzzcut, 125 grain. My total arrow weight is 407 grain, and I shoot a 75-pound draw Martin Cheetah 08 model. Now, if you were going after bison, if you were going after bear, if you are going after wild boar, two-blade broadhead is the way to go. Because, to be completely honest, the bleeder blades will hang up. But this wedge shape, this smooth-sided wedge shape, will bust bone, will penetrate shoulder blades. You saw this broadhead here completely destroy those treated boards that I was shooting into, and stay true and penetrate a considerable distance into a block target, which is designed for stopping broadheads. So if you want maximum penetration, in my opinion, go with a heavy broadhead. And I'm not just saying you have to go with Magnus. There's a few other brands out there, but Magnus has a lifetime guarantee on their broadheads. And you saw this one stay true. I spin tested it when I was done shooting through those boards. It is not razor sharp, but it is still adequate sharp. And so if you're going after thick-boned game, two-blade broadhead. Now if you're going for thin-skinned game like deer or antelope, I think a four-blade Magnus Stinger would serve you very well, because they are not as difficult to penetrate. However, if you want the maximum penetration, two-blade broadhead is the way to go. And it is my belief that cutting diameter is no substitute for bad shooting when you need penetration to find the vitals. That's just how I feel about it, and I think statistics and my own testing would bear that out very well. But if you're going after deer, I believe that a Stinger four-blade would be the way to go. Two-blade broadhead if you want maximum penetration, but could these broadheads perform as I showed out past 20 yards? To tell you the truth, I don't think so. Why? Because that board is very dense, very heavy, and very thick, considering the animals that you might be taking down. And if you need that kind of penetration on game of that size, you should not be taking bad shots. Whitetail, you can get away with taking a frontal shot and blowing one of these four blades or one of these buzz cuts through the shoulder at 30 to 40 yards, but those aren't shots that I would recommend. But I have no doubt that this four-blade, in correct shot placement, would pass through, or should pass through, even out to 40 yards with the setup that I have. And if I find out different and that changes, then I will tell you, because I will be honest. But for deer, four-blade broadhead, no problem with penetration on a deer, I would expect. especially with the kind of penetration that I got with this broadhead or a two-blade stinger I used in the penetration test on the block without the board. Maximum penetration with adequate cutting diameter, two-blade stinger or two-blade buzz cut, 125 grain. It is my opinion that if you shoot the heaviest arrow that you can and the heaviest draw that you can shoot well. If you can't shoot 75, shoot 70. If you can't shoot 60, shoot 55. Set your arrow and your bow up for you. But I am impressed with the performance of these two styles of broadheads, and I will be completely honest with you. Don't try to get a four-blade broadhead through a board. It's probably not going to work. Two-blade broadhead can do it. But I don't think that you can go wrong with a stinger or a snuffer in 125 grain. Could you do it with a 100 grain arrow or a 100 grain broadhead? Maybe. But why take the chance? These heavy broadheads, you saw how accurate they were in my testing of them. These broadheads sell themselves. I prefer Magnus. I'm sure there's other guys out there. But if you don't want to take chances, go with cut on contact, because they hit hard and they're accurate. As always, God bless all my Ted Nugent blood brothers. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. Thank you very much to all of my subscribers for all of your support. Thank you, Magnus, for making an awesome broadhead. And also, check out Razor Dobbs Alive on YouTube and his website. Razor's a crazy dude, and I am proud to say that he fully supports Tex Grebner Outdoors. And in my opinion, that just makes him awesome.